before I really get into this video, I want to mention that I am not a staunch like proponent for home birth or hospital birth, or a birth center. I really believe that it is such a personal choice, and that for some women, the hospital is absolutely the best choice. For some women, a birth center is the best choice, and for some, a home birth is the best choice. For me, with my son, I gave birth in the hospital, and I think at that point in time for me, that was the best option, because I had different fears about something happening to him after birth. I really did not have much knowledge about home birth, so there was a lot of fear in that option for me. And I liked my OB, and there's sure like things I would have changed about the hospital experience, but for the most part, it was fine. So for my personal journey, I've chosen to have a home birth with the little baby I'm pregnant with now. And that is because, so a few different reasons. So I became a birth doula about a year or so after I started teaching childbirth preparation. And a lot of the births that I attended were home births with a certified midwife, that is something I'm a huge proponent of. If you're going to have a home birth, I really, I think it's crucial, it is essential to have a certified midwife present, because they are trained to take care of your medical needs and babies up to a certain point, and they know when it's time to transfer to the hospital. And typically, like, midwives transfer you to the hospital well before it's an emergency. They don't wait till the last second. They're really careful, but they're incredibly well trained in keeping the mom and the baby safe. And so I got to experience this by being a doula. You know, I saw midwives in action, and I saw how incredibly knowledgeable they were. I saw them in situations that, again, weren't like emergencies, but were a little bit tense. And I just saw how well equipped they were to handle these situations, and just like how calm they were able to keep the mom, and just how incredibly skilled they were. So I developed a lot of trust in home births through my own personal experiences. And obviously not every mother is a doula, not every mother is attending home births. Again, this is just my personal experience. And it was just really beautiful seeing these home births, like seeing how calm women were, seeing them be able to go straight into their own bed with their baby after birth, you know, seeing the little brother or sister come in and either see their sibling being born or meet them right afterwards, to easily have like really nourishing food down the hallway. It just really piqued my interest. And so when I became pregnant, obviously I had the decision of birth center, home birth, or the hospital. And I love my OB. Honestly, like if I end up having to go to the hospital, I'll be fine. He's such a great guy. He's super supportive of like midwives and doulas. He and his wife had 2 home births. His wife is a doula. And so I really trust that he would help me honor, you know, the type of birth that I want to have. But, you know, I started to think about setting, like, all right, where would I be most comfortable, the hospital or home? And I'm not really somebody that's bothered by the hospital setting, but I have this like really lovely space in my home that would be so perfect for birthing. So that was a big thing. I started to think about my fears, like, will certain fears be triggered by being at home? And I realized that I'm going to make another video about this, but a lot of my fears right now are based more in pregnancy and not really in birth. So I felt like, no, I don't think I'll be triggered. The midwives themselves, like I'm hiring midwives that I have been at births with who are so amazing. I trust so much. And that's crucial. If you're going to have a home birth, you need to find a midwife that you really trust, that you know will keep you safe. I wanted, you know, in the days of COVID, a lot of hospitals are still requiring moms to wear masks the whole time. And for me, a crucial part of having a more positive birth experience is being able to breathe. And I cannot breathe while in a mask. I'm a huge proponent of wearing masks. I'm for it. But it's hard, like especially being pregnant, it's harder to take deep breaths. It's just hard to breathe for me. So I knew that that would not be a great option for me in the hospital if I was required to wear a mask. I don't think it would have gone well for me personally. And the amount of people you can have come to the hospital right now is limited. I think in California, you can have your partner and like a doula, which is great. That's a lot of progress from the beginning of COVID, but I know that I wanted my mom to be there. I want my son to have the option to come in and see the birth, or at least to come in and meet the baby right after. So yeah, a lot went in to my decision. And again, it was years in the making, really, like years of considering what feels the best to me. And if the midwives that I'm working with, if they only did births at a birth center, then I would happily go to a birth center. I mean, for me, it's really more about the women than this space, or at least like a lot of birth centers are very, very homey. It's not at all like a hospital setting. So that would have been a compromise I would have been willing to make. Like, yeah, I'm not at home, I have to travel, but it would be a soothing space and it's with women I really trust. Yeah, so that's a little bit of what, you know, my thought process was in deciding this kind of birth. I also realized that, you know, if a special circumstance comes up or something happens during birth, I might need to be transferred to the hospital. So I'm still going to make a list of birth preferences for the hospital. I'm still going to pack the hospital bag. I'm okay with that if that needs to happen. You know, I'm not like, I have to have a home birth no matter what. But that's what I'm going to at least try, and we'll see what happens. And I don't have any complications right now. So it's a safe option for me. You know, women with certain complications, it really is best for them to be in the hospital. And that's something that the midwives help you determine. You know, midwives are really responsible with that. If you have special health circumstances that make them feel like, you know, I think a hospital would be best, they will tell you. So if you're considering where to birth and you have questions, please let me know in the comments below, and I'd be happy to discuss it with you and help you make an informed choice.